Welcome back to Life Released, where we talk about life and death and everything in between. Welcome. So, sorry if I look like a wet poodle, but you're either going to see my hair wet or frizzy. Those are the only two modes I have, I guess. So please excuse the wet hair. I did a little self-care today as usual. I think self-care should be a daily habit. We should be very mindful of how we take care of ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, how we think about ourselves. That is such a healthy way to constantly, to continue to reconnect, to check in with yourself, to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, to make sure that we have good thoughts about ourselves. As women, we tend to be very critical of ourselves. And what that does is it starts a snowball effect. And we continue thinking those negative thoughts. And by the end of the week, you're miserable. We need to be our own medicine man, our own therapist, our biggest supporter. So today, just to give you a little idea, as I do every morning, I wake up and I think about all the good things in my life. I practice gratitude daily, although sometimes it could be more difficult than other days. I'm not going to be the one that is going to tell you that I'm waking up every day just feeling fantastic. That is not the truth. I wake up sometimes feeling pretty awful, but I make a conscious decision that I'm not going to let that continue for the rest of the day, because I want to have a good day. I don't want to have a pity party for myself. I don't want to just focus on the negative. I want to be focusing on the positive, because that's what brings beauty and meaning to my life. And focusing on things that are negative just is going to create a further downhill spiral. I woke up feeling great today, but I still practice gratitude regardless. I did just a quick little mini exercise with body weight, just to get my body moving around. And of course, you know me, drinking lots of water. Water just really helps you wake up in the morning. It gets your digestion going, and just good for, like I've been saying before, it's good for all your organs. And then just spending some time outside in the sunshine. It has been a beautiful morning, and I just couldn't spend it indoors doing work or whatever. I just felt like I just felt the need to be outside and to enjoy the fresh air, the sunshine, and the wildlife, the birds, and everything that's around, just to really appreciate nature and just feeling blessed for everything. And the reason for my wet hair is I swam for a little bit. That's something that I've been loving recently, especially with this beautiful California weather. How could I resist being outside? And it just makes me appreciate life even more, just to be doing something that I love. So I know we don't always have the time to pamper ourselves like that in the morning, but the days that you do have, whether it be on the weekends or whenever you have that free time, to just really focus on what you love, and just do that for yourself, even if it's just for a few minutes. Just spend the day outside, or the morning, or like I said, however much time you have. Go for a walk, or just spend the morning drinking your coffee outside, or read a book outside. I know in urban areas that could be a little bit difficult if you have a lot of noise from traffic or your neighbors, but just get in as much as you can. And even just a little outdoor activity can do wonders for your soul if you're really focused on the intention and the experience of being out in the sunshine. Okay, so enough about that. So today what I really wanted to talk to you about is a certain tribe's beliefs on death. And this is a topic that I know we don't all like to talk about. Death is kind of a grim thing to think about, but just as there is beauty in birth, there can be beauty in death. I want to read a few lines from a book that I actually picked up in the Grand Canyon, and I've really been enjoying it. I've already found so much meaning in it, and I just wanted to share it with you. But it's the American Indian Healing Arts by this book by E. Berry. I don't want to butcher the last name. Kavash and Karen Barr. I've already found so many beautiful things in here, and I just wanted to share a little something that the Navajo believe in surrounding death and women that I thought was kind of beautiful, and I wanted to share with you guys today. So it says here, the Navajo believe there is a detailed cosmic order to life and death. They live in the ways they hope will ensure a death from old age. When a person lives a long time and dies of natural causes, it means she died without fault and without inner turmoil or anger. If she has such an esteemed death, her soul is free to return to dawn woman and to be born again into another body. But when a Navajo dies before his or her time from sudden illness, suicide, violence, or witchcraft, traditionalists feel great concern. This is not so much a fear of death or of the dead as it is apprehension for the living. An untimely death can cause a chindi, a destructive ghost, to arise. So I just wanted to talk about their beliefs about having a death in old age due to having the ability to die of old age due to lifestyle choices where it focuses on always mind, body, and soul. So this is a primary thing that I feel we should focus more on and stop relying on big corporations, some medias, and old learned habits. Diet is so important for one's health. Some health experts even believe that diet is most important. If you have a poor diet, exercise is useless. You can have a strict exercise regimen of running, lifting weights, whatever, but if you are eating poorly, you're going to perform poorly. So focusing on foods that have high vibration, such as eating raw fruits, vegetables, they still have that living element to them. You're not eating overcooked, overprocessed foods that basically have little to no nutrition. Now, I'm not saying that eating cooked foods is bad, because I love cooked foods. I eat cooked foods like everyone else. But if you can have a balance between raw and cooked foods, I feel gives you the most optimal nutrition there is. So if you're constantly just eating cooked foods for every single meal, cooked or processed foods for every single meal, I think that you are doing a little bit of a disservice, because having live, raw foods in your system is what gives you the ultimate nutrient dense foods. So along with diet, how we think mentally also has such a big impact on the longevity of our life. If you're constantly worried or anxious or have thoughts of jealousy or fear, anxiety, all of that energy gets balled up and it's stored either in our head, in our chest, or in our stomach. People who feel this heaviness on their chest, who constantly suffer from headaches or have horrible digestion, that is just energy that is roaming around in our bodies that's being trapped, and we have no way of expressing it or releasing it because we are continuing to follow old patterns. So we have all this energy from fear, guilt, shame, jealousy, anger, and it's being stored in gut, in our heart, and in our head. So if you're struggling with digestive problems, heart problems, migraines, that is all, it probably could be stemmed back from heavy energies that we're carrying within us. So by being able to release those heavy energies and refocus them through proper channels such as exercise, meditation, it can be very helpful in releasing that heavy energy and absorbing good energy, that light energy. So we can refocus and reprogram our minds into being a little bit more in tune with our bodies. We can be our own therapist, doctor, friend, because nobody knows us more than we do. And I want us to reconnect with who we really are. When I have certain issues, whether I have a certain pain somewhere or I'm just not feeling well, I don't rush to the medicine cabinet to get an over-the-counter medication to relieve whatever it is, whatever symptom I'm feeling. Because by doing that, we're only masking our symptoms. We're not fixing the problem. So if it's a pain or an upset stomach, I'm looking back to see what is it that's causing that issue. I don't want to mask it. I want to get down to the bottom of it. And if it has something to do with diet, well, we're going to change it. If it has something to do with the way we're sleeping, we have to change that. So we shouldn't be relying on over-the-counter or prescription medications to fix something that we're capable of fixing ourselves. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this very extensively, how by being mindful and connecting to our body, we are capable of healing ourselves from the inside out. And we're losing that ability in ourselves because we have become accustomed to going to the hospital and going out to restaurants that don't have our health as a main priority. The reason why foods at these big chain restaurants or any restaurants with big price tags, they are focused on selling well-tasting food, and obviously that's of course that's the point, but a lot of it is heavy in salt, heavy in fat, and heavy in sugar, and all of those are addicting to us, and we end up craving it. So we end up going back for more. So although I'm not saying never to go to a restaurant or to the hospital, I think we shouldn't be dependent on them. I think first we need to be taking care of ourselves, limit the amount of need to go to these other facilities for our needs. For a very long time, there was no hospitals or restaurants or any of that. We were dependent on our abilities to take care of ourselves and to forage for food or hunt for food. And we've, in the process of evolution to now, we've become very lazy in those aspects, because we don't even have to leave our house nowadays for groceries or food or anything, because everything is delivered to us. So we become very sedentary, and we don't even need to go outside. And I think we need to refocus on our ancestors' ability to be more self-sufficient. So going back, what does this all have to do with death? Because this was the topic, this was the purpose of me speaking with you today, is when you are living a life where you are taking care of your mind, body, and soul, and you are living in the path that you are supposed to be on, you are more likely to have positive views on death, because you are connecting to what it is to be human, and not just living day to day as a robot, as something that can't think or feel or know what your body is telling you. So for us women, and for us, for everyone, just to be a little bit more mindful about what we put into our body and what we put into our brain can help us have a more meaningful, beautiful life, and not use things such as medications, drugs, or other bad habits to hide what it is that we're suffering from, and to live our best life so we can have a beautiful long life and live into our 70s and 80s still being active and living a healthy lifestyle, and not waste our youth on bad habits that will continue on into our adulthood and into our golden years. So just being mindful of that, and yeah, just being happy with who you are. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for joining me. And if you do find this video, I hope you are enjoying them. Please like this video so I know that somebody out there is interested in these. And yeah, thank you for spending some time with me. And I will see you again in the next video. Blessings, everyone.